Tune in as James Cruz brings you Managed Money. Listen to James offer up his insights on investor behaviour, wealth management and strategies on how to retire right.
Hi, it's James Cruz with Managed Money, episode 3. We've had a couple of listeners, so that's enough encouragement, I guess, for me to continue. Certainly some of the feedback is, and this is from a colleague who is a financial planner, who used to be a sound engineer, so he's got some experience around the technical side, and he has provided some hints and tips. So hopefully going forward, the podcast will be clearer and more understandable. Hopefully the topics resonate with you as well on your path to retirement. Today I want to have a quick chat about the whole concept of managed money. Managed money is the name of the podcast. I certainly need to confess that it's certainly not my original idea. I stole it off Nick Murray, who in the past I've spoken a lot about. Nick Murray was a financial planner who was based in the US and was a stockbroker and really directed and converted his business to one of managed money with a focus on retirement. I guess as a regionally based financial planning and wealth management firm, much of the time we're seen as a generalist in the fact that there's an expectation that we know a lot about all different ranges of topics in regards to aged care, Centrelink advice, retirement planning, of course, and insurances and estate planning. When, as a firm, we dig deep to those people, and I guess that avatar, the exact person that we can add the most significant value to, and those people that really value the advice that we provide, it is business owners. It doesn't matter if it's a hair salon, automotive workshop, or professionals such as cardiologists, people like that who really want to outsource their retirement advice. They understand that they're professionals in their own industry and do not want to be amateur financial planners themselves, and they want someone else to manage that. They're happy to pay a fee because they don't want to worry about it. And I can tell you now that that is primarily the reason that clients pay, or they should be paying, a financial planning firm to manage their retirement funds. So our avatar is that business owner, because each business owner, every day they're used to making decisions. Not always right, but they're very quick and they understand that they get a sense of where they can make decisions whereby it's going to put them closer or progress them to where they want to be. So the reason we deal predominantly with business owners is because they are happy to outsource that area of their wealth management so that they can just focus on the areas that they can manage themselves. When it comes to retirements, there's fantastic strategies whereby you can sell business assets, roll those funds across, or use tax exemptions that the ATO allows. Place assets into superannuation, whether it's cash proceeds, contributions, in-specie transfers, or transferring of shares and properties into super funds, with a view that you can then achieve a tax-free income stream for the rest of your life. So obviously I sound a little bit excited there, because if we can find those clients where they're happy for us, say with 5 to 10 years before retirement, to give them enough chance to build up an idea of where they're at, what's important to them, what they're looking forward to in retirement, then we've got an opportunity to mold their asset base into the most effective entities and structures that are going to help them to make their money last as long as possible in retirement. So obviously managed money relates to the ideas and the strategies. That's why we focus on the complexity, because there's a lot of financial planning firms who will focus on the simple components, risk and rollover. There's a lot of that advice in the world. But when it comes to business owners, it's the complexity that we get to deal with that makes a huge difference. And that's where we believe that we can add significant value. In regards to the managed money concept, yes, we expect a lot of the assets that business owners build up, and they could be, they could have had a property, a leaning towards property over their lives, but a lot of the assets that we use are managed funds, shares, international and Australian shares, cash and term deposits, but it's generally all sitting within the entity or the umbrella of a superannuation or an allocated pension structure. And our focus there is because we know the taxation benefits, we know the structure, we know the asset protection, we know that we can, from an estate planning point of view, dovetail those instructions and those nominations of beneficiaries to flow back to those people who need that money at the right time. And so it's a total client profile, it's comprehensive advice. And that, I guess, is the crux of what we talk about when we talk about managed money. The outsourcing or the passing on of trust to our firm to manage those assets and those funds is an integral part of that relationship. And what I mean by that is most business owners have been self-directed their whole lives. They've made all their own decisions, but they're unclear or uncertain on the right strategies going forward. Once they understand how the advice and the structures work, then once trust is gained, it's about allowing us to administer our asset allocation models that we believe is going to suit them, just to give them every possible chance to make that money last as long as possible. So in that brief period, hopefully you've got a clearer understanding of how managed money works. Obviously, there's a lot more detail when we discuss this with clients, but at least you get an idea of the background and the context of why the podcast is called Managed Money and how that works and why we predominantly deal with business owners and those people who are really serious about funding a comfortable retirement whereby they never have to worry about money again. I'd like to thank the early listeners for jumping on board and listening to the podcast. If you've got any questions, please get onto anchor.fm. That is the platform. Search for Managed Money. And if you go onto there, you're actually able to record. You don't have to have an account, but you can record a question that would relate to any issues or queries that you have about retirement or setting yourself up for retirement. We'd love to be able to answer those and have a two-way conversation just to make sure people are comfortable with any questions that they may have in regards to this. We're building up our library. We're on the different platforms. I know definitely on Spotify. We're on Google Podcast now. We're not on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts at this stage, but give us a bit more time and we hope to be on there as well. If you'd like to check out any more details on how a financial planning firm might be able to work with you, please go and check out our website, which is evolutionfinancial.com.au, and certainly sign up for our regular newsletter where we'll keep you posted on all matters retirement and just give you, I guess, tips and ideas on how to retire right. Okay, I really appreciate your time. I hope you've gained some insights and some benefits in listening to this, and I look forward to catching up with you all soon. Cheers.